Hello guys, welcome back. In this lecture, we will work on some sort of refactoring to reuse some common piece of code across the controllers. And by doing this refactoring, my main motive is to encourage you to keep your functional controllers as thin as possible and handle the reusable code at a single place. Okay, and this way you can also satisfy the Rails philosophy for dry code, which simply means that just keep the single representation of common code and just reuse it where you need it. Okay, so what refactoring we will do in this lecture, so let me show you in the members and work experiences controller that we already created in this course. So switch to the project directory and now open the members controller from app controllers. Okay, so when you open the members controller, here you can see that we are updating records in two action, that is update description, where we are performing update for the about attribute of the user, and in the update personal detail we are updating the personal details of user like name, email, and so on. Okay, and you can clearly see that we are using almost the same respond to block to render the response in the turbo stream format. Okay, and in both the actions we are just replacing the updated content on provided DOM target element. Okay, and just like this member controller, you can also see the almost same code in the work experience controller. Okay, so let's open the work experiences controller from app controllers, and here you can see in the create and update action. Okay, in the create action we are appending a new record to the DOM in case of successful create operation, and if it is rolled back then we are using the turbo stream dot replace. So here you can see what we are doing. If the record is saved successfully, turbo stream dot append, and if it is not saved successfully, then we are replacing the form with errors. Okay, and in the update action you can see that in case of both successful and rollback update, what we are doing, we are replacing the DOM element with some partial or with some details. Okay, with some updated details. Okay, and similarly in the remove action, what we are destroy action, what we are doing, we are using the turbo stream dot remove, but here we are only providing the targeted DOM ID. Okay, not the partial and not the locals. Okay, so you can say that partial and locals can be optional as well, but the turbo stream action like remove, replace, and append, prepend are the mandatory, and the targeted DOM element is also mandatory. Okay, and partial and locals are the optional, because you might need to update the DOM without any dynamic data, and it's possible at some times. Okay, and this is just the example of two controllers. Moving forward in the course, we will work with more controllers and multiple controller actions to render the response using turbo stream, and there we will require the same respond to blocks. Okay, so rather than doing this in all controllers and in all actions where we require the turbo stream format, then we can simply place this respond to rendering for the turbo stream function at one place, let's say in the application controller as a private method, and then we can use this in all other places where we need it. Okay, and this thing will help you in keeping the controller thin and reflected, and this way you can also support the dry philosophy. However, this is not the only way to keep the controllers thin. There are many more better ways to writing thin controllers, but you can consider this as a simple step or the simplest step to start writing thin controllers. Okay, so I think it's enough talking and we should start refactoring our controllers. Okay, so first to open the application controller, so go to the app controllers and open the application controller, and here we need to define the private method. Okay, so in this application controller, first define the private keyword. Okay, and now we need to define a method, let's say render turbo stream as a private method. Okay, so def render turbo stream. Okay, and then we need to provide some argument to this action, this method. Okay, so what will be the argument that we need? So first we need the action argument. Okay, and then we need the target argument. Okay, and then we need partial, and since I told you already that partial and locals can be nil, so we can set a default value to the partial as nil, and we can also set locals as an empty hash. Okay, and now what we need to do, we need to implement this method. Or here let me also explain that what are these argument like action and target. So action will be the turbo stream action, like turbo stream dot remove, turbo stream dot replace, turbo stream dot append, turbo stream dot prepend, whatever it is. Okay, and the target will represent the id of the DOM or DOM element. Okay, it can be id or it can be class or it can be an element itself. Okay, and then partial will be the object that you want to replace with the dynamic data, and locals will be the dynamic data that you want to show, like user work experience or whatever record or instance variables you want to show on the browser. Okay, now we need to define a responder to block within this render turbo stream method. Okay, so respond to do, and here define the format. Okay, and within this responder to block, what we need to do, format dot turbo stream, do. Here we will define format.turbostream as a block as well. Okay, now within this format.turbostream, we need to render the turbo response based on the action provided in the render turbostream method. Okay, if it is replaced, then we need to use turbostream.replace. If it is append, then we need to use turbostream.append, and if it is remove, then we need to use turbostream.remove. Okay, so if you wish, you can use if else as well, but since there will be multiple if else or chaining of if else, so what we can do, we can simply use case when statement here. Okay, it's all up to you what you want to use. Okay, so I am preferring the case when statement here, so case, and then provide the action as the case. Okay, now when this action is replace, so provide replace. When this action is replaced, then what we need to do, render turbostream and turbostream dot replace. Okay, then render turbostream replace. Okay, and then what arguments you need to pass here? First you need to pass the target element, and then partial as a partial, and then locals. Now come to the next line. When it is append, then we need to use turbostream.append. Okay, when append, then what you can do, you can simply copy this line and change the turbostream.replace to turbostream.append. Okay, just do this, and what we need to do here, append, and when it is remove, then you can use turbostream.remove. Okay, and in the work experience controller, you can see in the distro action that we are only using the DOM target. We are not providing any partial, or we are not providing any locals. So from the remove action, we can just keep the target, and we can remove this partial and local arguments. Okay, and now end this block. Okay, so these are only three actions that we used so far. If you wish, you can provide prepend and other actions as well, that is provided by turbostream. Okay, and now save the application controller, and now it's time to invoke this render turbo stream method into both members controller and work experiences controller. Okay, so let's do this in the members controller first. So what we need to do, just copy this name. Okay, and now come to the members controller, and here what you need to do, that first go to the update description action and place all the existing update operation outside the responder to block and remove it. Okay, and similarly do the same change into the update personal detail as well, and remove the responder to block from here as well. Okay, and now just keep this format of turbo stream for a little time, and just paste it here. Now we need to provide the argument to this method. Okay, so first argument will be the action of the turbo stream, that is replace. Here you can see we are using turbostream dot replace. Okay, so we need to pass replace here, and then add the comma, and then we need to provide the partial target element, that is member description. Okay, so just to paste it here, and then we need to provide the partial name, that is member description. So just copy this partial name or partial path, paste it here, and then as the last thing, you need to provide locals here. So use this user, current user, paste it here, and now you can remove this format line, because now we don't need it, because we are using the method that we defined within the application controller as private method, that is render turbo stream. Okay, so now whenever a successful update performed within this update description, what it will do, that it will call the render turbo stream method with action argument, target element, and then partial name, and this is the local. Okay, now we need to do the same thing within the update personal details as well. So just copy it, and what you need to do, just paste it here and keep the action name as replace, and now provide the target element, that is member personal details for this section. So you just need to copy it, paste it here, and then update the partial path as well. So members, member personal detail partial, and local is same, so we can keep it as it is. And now just remove this format dot turbo stream line. Okay, now we done for the members controller, because we are just using the for respond to block within only these two action. Now it's time to change the same thing for the work experiences controller. Okay, and here you can see what we are doing. We are doing at three action. Okay, at create, update, and destroy. So what we need to do here, you can just copy this line, like render turbo stream. Okay, and here you just need to paste it. Sorry, first before pasting, just keep this work experience dot save block outside the responder to block, and remove this responder to block. Okay, and do the same thing for update as well. Just do this and remove the responder to block from here as well, and yeah, similar from the destroy action as well. Okay, paste it here and remove this responder to block, because now we don't need these. Okay, and now what you need to do here, you need to paste this render turbo stream call, and here you can see if record is saved successfully, then what turbo stream method we are using, turbo stream dot append. So we need to change the section argument, that is append now. Okay, and this is the dom element, so we need to change the target element as well. So remove this member description and change this via work experience items. Okay, and here is the partial path, so you just need to copy this partial path and place it here, that is member description, and then change your locals, that is work experience object. So remove this user object and change it via work experience object. Okay, and now you can remove this line. So just remove it, and similarly you need to do the same thing if record get failed in the saving in the database. Okay, so now you need to change your dom element, that is remote model. So first change the action name, that is replace now. Okay, and here change the dom element, that is remote model now, and change the partial path as well, that is shared turbo model. Okay, so just change this partial path. Okay, and now you need to change your locals as well, so just copy these locals from here and paste it here. And here you can see that the local has more than one key value pair, so it's better for the readability that we can break it in multiple lines. Okay, so just break it in multiple line. Okay, and then remove this format turbo stream line from here. Okay, just remove it. So now you can see that the create action of the work experience controller will also call this action within the application controller, that is render turbo stream. Okay, now do the same changes for the work experience dot update as well. Okay, so what we need to do here, just copy this render turbo stream. Okay, and then you need to paste it here, and here just need to change the action name, that is replace, and then the dom object name, that is work experience item, and its id. Okay, so just copy it and replace it here, paste it, and now you need to change the partial path. So partial path you can keep the same, that is work experiences work experience, and local will be the same as well. Okay, so now remove the, sorry, now remove this line, format line. Okay, and save it. Now let's do the same thing for if update get failed. Okay, so just copy this render turbo stream from the else part of the create action and paste it here. Sorry, just paste it here. Okay, and here what we need to do, here you can see that action is still replace, target element is remote model, partially shared turbo model, and the locals as form partial, and the model title, you just need to use the model title value, that is edit work experience. So copy it and replace this add new work experience by edit experience. Okay, and now you can remove this format line as well. Okay, so here you can see that this is much better now. Now as the last thing, we just need to do the same thing for the destroy action as well. Okay, so you can just copy this line here, and then what you need to do, you need to pass action as remove. Okay, and id will be the same, that is work experience item. Okay, and now you can skip the part that is partial and locals. Okay, because for destroy action we don't need any lines. Okay, so now correctly indent it, okay, and save it, and now remove the format dot turbo stream from here as well. Okay, so save it here, and now you can see that we replaced the responder to block from all create, update, and destroy action. Okay, and we just have that method defined within the application controller. Okay, and similarly we removed the responder to block from the members controller as well. Now it's time to test these refactor changes, but before testing it, let's open the members personal detail partial, and we need to make a quick fix. So go to the app, views, members personal details partial. Okay, here what is the fix? Let me show you that. You can see that what we are doing here, mutual connections dot count. Okay, but in the update action of members controller here, update personal details, you can see that we do not have at the rate mutual connections object defined, or at the rate mutual connection instance variable defined in this section. So we first need to check if mutual connection dot present. Okay, and then add the another end operator here. Okay, so now this code will get executed only if user is not equal to current user and the mutual connection is present. Okay, if it is present, then it will get the connections count, else it will work as it is. Okay, now let's test it. So go to the browser. Okay, and it's time to open the model. Let's try with the updating the about field first. Okay, so click on the pencil icon, and here you can see that the form is open in the bootstrap model. Now let's copy this. Sorry, let's cut this and paste it here like testing. Okay, and add some dots and make some space on the terminal as well. Okay, so now if you click on the save changes button, you will see that the updated code has been replaced, and you can also verify this on the controller action on the terminal as well, where the server is running. Okay, and now let's paste the original description here, and if you save it again, it will also working. Now let's try to update the personal detail information. Okay, so let's change this sync to Kashyap, and now if you click on save changes, you will see that it is also working. Okay, so here you can see that we refactored changes in the members controller. Now we do not have common responder to block, but this is still working because we define the entire functionality of the rendering for a response in the turbo stream format within the application controller as a private method. Okay, so now whenever you perform any turbo stream request, it this section will be invoked, okay, in members controller and the work experiences controller. Okay, now so since we test the members controller like updating personal details and about attribute, now it's time to change the update the test the work experiences. Okay, so let's click on this add experiences link. Okay, and here replace let's submit the empty form. When you click on the save changes, you will see that still our turbo stream request is working. Okay, and the transaction has been rolled back, and now we are seeing the form with error. Now let's try to uh, provide the all valid values for the entire attributes in this form. For let's say full time, here you can see Indore India, location type on site, and let's say I'm currently working here, and selected date in the past, let's say 1/7/2023, and in the description let's provide test. Now if you click on save changes, you will see that this link is added here. Okay, now let's try to update this. For example, if you update this, and let's try to fail the validation first. So if you click on the save changes, you will see that a form is rendered replaced with the error message. Okay, now let's click on this link again. Okay, and now test the decision with sorry, change the title as uh, senior ROR developer. Okay, and if you click on save changes, you will see that it is updated here. Okay, so create and updated has been tested. Now we need to test the destroy button. Okay, so when you click on this trash icon, you will see a confirmation model in the browser, and click on the OK button. Okay, and when you click on the OK button, you will see that the record has been removed from the browser and database as well. Okay, so here you can see that this delete operation has been performed. Okay, and entire thing is working. I mean the members controllers actions and the work experience controller action as it is, as it was working before this refactoring. Okay, but now we have much clear uh, organization of our responder to block. So here you can see that now we can reuse this method everywhere where we need to render response using turbo stream. Okay, and it's much better approach because we do not have to write it in multiple places. We can just copy this and reuse it So I mean, we can just invoke this and reuse it, not copy. Okay. And we have one more controller there. We are using this turbo stream format. Open the connections controller, and here you can see that what we are doing in the create action and update action, we are just using this respond to block. Okay. So it's your chance to try to I mean, try to invoke the render turbo stream method of the application controller within this connections controller. Okay. If you get fail, just follow my commit. I will add the commit URL into this lecture. Okay. And you can see, you can verify your code with my code. Okay. And that is all from this lecture. I hope you got the point I wanted to tell you. Try this lecture at your end, and we will meet into the next lecture. Till then, tata, goodbye, take care, and stay safe.